Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at some really awesome new Yu-Gi-Oh news. We got a lot of new cards to check out. There's a new Boss Black Rose Dragon, and on top of that there's going to be a new Dark Honest, and it actually comes in the new holographic rarity, which obviously is going to be new for us over here. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So the first thing I'm going to be taking a look at is all of the new Rose cards. Basically, they're getting a lot more support. There's actually going to be a lot of reprints of a lot of cards as well that we'll be covering later down the line. But anyways, the new Rose cards, starting off over here, we're going to be taking a look at this card over here, which is a quick play spell card that is called Petal Rose Shoot, and here is what it does. So a quick play spell card that says you can only use each of this card's name first and second effects once per turn. The first effect is to special summon one Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. The second part of it says if the set card is destroyed, you get to target one of your Black Rose Dragon or one of your monsters that specifically lists that card in its text that is banished or in your graveyard and special summon it. Now, that will probably be a little bit more incentivizing because, yeah, getting back Black Rose, not that big of a deal. But this card actually is pretty cool, especially in any banished deck. So this is the new Boss Black Rose Dragon, or Boss Blood Rose Dragon is what we should call it, because that's the official name. It is a level 10 Fire Dragon Synchro effect monster, and it's got 3,200 attack and 2,400 defense points. Its materials are 1 tuner plus 1 plus non-tuner monsters, and it says if this card is synchro summoned, you get to banish all cards from the graveyards. Then, if this card was synchro summoned using a Black Rose Dragon or a plant synchro monster as material, you could destroy all other cards on the field. So it pops everything like Black Rose, then it just banishes everything on top of it, but I believe it's banishing first, then it does that other effect. But next up though, the second part of the effect is when your opponent activates a card or effect that would destroy card or cards on the field. As a quick effect, you can tribute this card, negate the activation, then special summon a Black Rose Dragon from your extra deck or your graveyard. So you can potentially protect it if it would be destroyed via another effect. You're still going to go ahead and get that. So I think that is kind of interesting. Too bad it didn't work on your own effect. So you could like technically not pop all of it and negate itself, but that's kind of pointless anyways. Anyways, next up though, we have the Rakros Rose Dragon, which here is the zoomed up artwork on this. It's going to be a level 3 dark Dragon Tuner effect monster with 1,600 attack, 1,200 defense points. It says you can only use each of this card's name first and second effects once per turn. The first part of the effect is if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add one card that specifically lists Black Rose Dragon in its text from your deck to your hand, except for Rakros Rose Dragon. And then the second part says if this card is in your graveyard and a face-up Rose Dragon monster or a plant synchro monster you control is destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect, you get to add this card back to your hand. So that's kind of cool. It just lets you search, and then it has an easy condition to bring it back. And then next up we have the Witch of the Blood Rose. So here is what this card looks like. It's going to be a level 1 light with 800 attack and 1,700 defense points. So Witch of the Black Rose is also a plant and a tuner, and it says that you can only use each of this card's name first and second effects once per turn. The first part of the effect says that you contribute this card to add one Witch of the Black Rose from your deck to your hand, and if you do, place one level 3 or lower plant monster from your deck on the top of your deck. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can do normal summon one Witch of the Black Rose from your hand, which will obviously extend your combos even further. And then the second part of it says you can banish this card from your graveyard to return one of your Black Rose Dragon or Blood Rose Dragons that is banished or in your graveyard to the extra deck. And then next up we have the Garden Rose Flora, which is a level 5 light plant synchro tuner effect monster with 800 attack and 1,600 defense points. The materials are 1 tuner plus 1 plus non-tuner monsters, and it says that you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. The first part of it says you can target one field spell on the field. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for synchro monsters. Also destroy that target. Then special summon one Rose token, Plant Dark, level 2, attack and defense 800 to its controller's field in attack position. The second part of it says during your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you get to immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card you control. So I guess maybe the idea is to go ahead and synchro, and then on your opponent's turn, you could have that big wombo combo, banish everything, pop everything, and then go to your turn, summon Grand Maju and hit for massive amounts of damage, which I think some people are going to be trying to make this in Grand Maju. It would be a really good idea, especially if grass ever comes back in the TCG, the grass is greener. That would be an insane mix-up to go ahead and activate that. Everyone just like loses everything. It's going to be crazy to see where that goes with it. But let me know, guys, what your thoughts are on the new Rose Dragon support. The whole Rose Dragon archetype, I really didn't think it was that great. Now, this other card is kind of cool, but like at the end of the day, is it going to be competitive? I really feel like maybe some cool highlights with Grand Maju for massive amount of damage, but meta, I don't think so right now, but you guys let me know your thoughts down below. All right, next up though, we have Dark Honest. So here is the full artwork of a Dark Honest card. So the name of it is Dark Honest. It is a level 4 Dark Fairy effect monster with 1100 attack and 1900 defense points. Its effect is, once per turn, you can return this face-up card from the field to the hand. During the damage step, when your dark monster battles an opponent's monster as a quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. That opponent's monster loses attack equal to its attack until the end of this turn. So it just says equal to its attack. So I believe, I'm not sure how this is going to be ruled, because obviously this is brand new, but does it mean original attack or its current attack? I really don't know. We'll have to wait for the full translation, because that can actually matter quite a bit. But it's not like you're going to be able to stack multiple like you would with regular Honest. So it's not as good as OG Honest, but let's be honest. Oh, that was no pun intended, but honestly, okay. It's really not that big of a deal to go ahead. Like, there might be some decks where you can do a massive amounts of damage, but like, the reason why Honest was so good, especially at the time that Honest was really powerful, was because you can also stack multiple of them at a time. Like, BLS Honest Armory Arm, it was a really cool way to make a game. But I think that this card still would be a cool card to mess around with. But again, meta changing, I don't know. But you know what will be very expensive? The holographic rare version of it. So here's what it looks like zoomed in, and I think it looks really dang cool. But you guys can let me know what you think of the holographic rares. Do you guys like them more than prismatic rare? For me, I like it a lot more. I think it looks really, really good than the Starlight rares. But anyways, next up we have a live twin, Kissicle. Frost is the name of this card. Here is what it looks like. And it is going to be a level 2 light aqua effect with 500 attack, 0 defense. It says that you can only special summon with the way of the card's name first effect once per turn. So you can only use this card's name second effect once per turn. So the first part of the effect is, if you control a Lilith monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. The second part of the effect is, if your opponent adds a card or cards from the deck to the hand by a card effect and you control an evil twin monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard and draw a card. And it also shows off the card in the other rarity. They're saying that this is a secret rare, but it looks a little bit different, at least via this little picture over here. Look, this was like kind of a prismatic. But we're not done yet with new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And if you guys are fans of Ignisters, drop a like on it, because you're about to get insanely good support for this archetype. All right, so new Ignister cards. So let's go get started with the Maguri AI, which is when AI first met you. Here is the artwork on the card. It is a normal spell card that says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Reveal a Cyberse monster with 2300 attack in your hand or your extra deck, which is obviously extra deck. And if you do, you can add one Ignister monster with the same attribute from your deck to your hand. Also, you can activate monster effects for the rest of the turn after this card effect resolves, except for Cyberse monsters. During the end phase, if you did not special summon the revealed monster or a monster with the same name this turn, you take 2300 damage, which, I mean, obviously being able to add any Ignister monster makes the deck insanely, more consistent. And then next up, we have another card over here called the Dark Infant, which is going to enable even more plays for that archetype. So here's the zoomed up artwork. Its link zone is going to the left and is a link 1. So it's got 500 attack, and its materials are one non-link Ignister monster. It says you can only use each of this card's name first and second effects once per turn. First part of it says, if this card is link summoned, you get to add one Ignister AI land from your deck to your hand. And then the second part is, when a Cyberse monster with 2300 original attack activates its effect as a quick effect, you can move this card to your main monster zone it points to. then you can change this card's attribute to any attribute until the end of this turn, which again extends the combos for this deck heavily with adding the AI land and being able to move it. Next up, we have UNAI. So this is the artwork on this card over here. It is going to be a continuous spell card that says if a Cyberse monster with 2300 original attack is special summon, you get to activate one of these effects based on the attributes among the summoned monsters. You can only activate each of the following effects of UNAI once per attribute. So if it's earth or water, you get to have the attack of one face-up monster in the field until the end of the turn. Wind or light, negate the effects of one face-up card on the field until the end of this turn. Fire or dark, disperse one at Ignister token, which is dark. Cyberse Dark level 1/0/0, which is probably going to be the most popular one to go ahead and continue on your combos with, especially if you're going first. Next up, we have Dan Mari at Ignister. So here's the artwork on this. It is going to be a level 6 Dark with 2300 attack and 0 defense points. And Dark Cyberse, you can only use each of this card's name first and second effects once per turn. The first part of the effect is when an attack is declared involving your Ignister monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate that attack. The second part of it says if you control a Link 6 monster, good luck doing that, but it's possible. All right, as a quick effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, then target one face-up card your opponent controls, negating its effect until the end of this turn. Which, that's a pretty decent effect, honestly, but again, making Link 6 is not the most relevant thing in the competitive scene of Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up, though, Mano. Continuous trap card that says you can only use this card's name third effect once per turn. The first part of the effect is monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack for each card you control. The second part of the effect is if your Ignister monster battles, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. The third part of it says when your Ignister monster is destroyed by a battle, you can target one Cyberse monster with 2300 attack in your graveyard, except for the destroyed monster and special summon. That's another pretty decent card at the end of the day, but I still think the other support is way better. The one where it just lets you go ahead and reveal, and then the other one where it just adds the land. That's pretty much what I would consider much better. Next up, we have an interesting pendulum card. It can't technically be used as draw power for Monarchs. Anyways, Camel Flight over here. It's a level 5 light spellcaster, special summon pendulum effect monster, 1800 attack and 0 defense points. Its pendulum effect is you can only use this card's name's pendulum effect once per turn. The first part of it says if there's no cards in your extra deck, or if the only cards in it are Camel Flight, you can destroy this card, then draw one card. The monster effect is it cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your face-up extra deck. While there are no cards except for on Camel Flight in your extra deck, you can only special summon on Camel Flight once per turn this way. The other first part of the monster effect is if this face-up card leaves the monster zone, banish it. So, interesting little effect. I'm actually thinking that this is kind of cool that you can put more cards into the extra deck. So, there are a lot of archetypes that like to banish, like I believe you can choose 1 for 15, but I forgot the name of that card. Someone comment down below what the name of the card was, because I wanted to pull it up. I don't know if you could select 15. I think it's like the same number that you banish, your opponent also banishes from the until like the end of the turn or something. I wonder if you can go over 15 with it, which opens up doors for weird OTKs with a really cheesy like defense OTK. But it technically does add another card there if it's pot, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to get that while there's other cards, because you'd have to banish all those cards, put this there, and then you'd have to have the other cards come back. It's possible to do, it's really difficult. But again, for some archetypes that maybe if you just extravagance and you just have no more cards, heck, this is another card, right? But realistically, probably not going to be used for that. But that's another interesting card at the end of the day. Lastly, I didn't cover this yesterday, so I wanted to go ahead and just cover it in this video. So this is OTS Tournament Pack 15, going over the higher rarities over here. So this is coming out on February 3rd for the official launch date over here. This is for the tournament packs. So important things: ultimate rare armed dragon level 10, and on top of that, Halki Fibrax is coming in ultimate rare. And then there's a ton of super rare upgrades: Shredall Dragon, Zodiac Borbo, Dogmatica Punishment, and more. But there's also a War Legacy token. But the important thing is armed dragon level 10 is probably going to be super expensive because of collectors, and obviously Halki Fibrax is definitely going to be very, very be sought after. It's a good card until it gets banned. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down below on the new boss Black Rose and the Dark Honest. And I'm really curious to know what you guys think of the new holographic rare. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and sum it up, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And if you guys are new here and you want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh news, in fact, I'm going to be recording one right after this. It goes over the next stuff that I wanted to go ahead and go over, which is in Legendary Duelist Season 2. We got a full leak of everything, and I'm going to be dropping that video very soon. So if you are new here, make sure you guys just subscribe with the bell notification on, and that video will be out very, very soon. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, and if you guys want to send me any gameplay, feel free to go ahead and send me a gameplay of them. You guys can send it in via my email, asianizedreplays@gmail.com. If you guys got cool, crazy OTKs, ideas, I would love to see them. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.